Welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dubston and it's great to have you here with me on the channel. Now, there's the YouTube channel, there's the podcast, so really great to have you join this conversation in whichever platform or app makes sense to you. If you are looking for the podcast, go and have a search through your favorite podcast platforms like Google Pods and Apple Podcasts and Stitcher. The channel is there. Search for I Ching Cafe. And this episode is our weekly overview for the week commencing the 28th of December 2020. Oh, we are so close to the end of the year. I hope that you've been having an amazing time with your loved ones in small, safe circles, and that you indeed practicing responsible citizenship. Right, so let's have a little quick recap on last week. We had following the lodestar, being drawn forward, connected and committed to the thing that we are following, and being nourishing others, understanding what it is that nourishes us, and seeking self-care. This week we have a locked hexagram. So for the week of 28th of December, a locked hexagram, which means this is it, this is the flow of change, this is the focus, this is just one thing we are asking you to pay attention to if the I Ching was a person talking to you. Okay, so let's have a look at that. We have for this week, hexagram 18, work on what has been spoiled. When I cast the coins for this week and asked the question, bearing in mind for many of us celebrating Christmas, this is a few days after the Christmas celebration, working on what has been spoiled, it makes perfect sense, i.e. recovering from all the indulgences we might have done over this period, over this festive season. So working on what has been spoiled talks about how do we deal with corruption. So on one level, in your particular part of the world, you might find that things around corruption and corruption being resolved and unpacked come into the forefront. Okay, so corruption in a government scale, I think you can understand what that means. But this hexagram, of course, also applies personally, as they all do. And so corruption talks about where are there the weeds in the garden that we need to remove and get rid of. Remembering that weeds in the garden mean a whole variety of things. On a mundane, physical, external level, physical weeds might be disorder in our physical world, filing, paperwork, taxes, messy houses. These are all signs of this hexagram asking us to pay attention to what has now become decayed and corrupt. Where are the weeds in the garden in our physical world? Then when we think about emotional and mental weeds, we think about what is the corruption in the matrix, as it were, that we have in our lives. So delusions, illusions, false ideas, incomplete ideas are all examples of where we have internal corruption. What we're being asked to do this week is pay attention to where are the emotional, mental weeds we need to get rid of. I would recommend that because we have this fixed locked hexagram this week, that we really do some inner quiet work. This time of the year is a great time. We should be getting some emotional and mental space to do this work and start to think where in our thinking and our emotional lives and how we relate to others is this idea of the weeds in the garden or the corruption playing out. Where am I responding emotionally, responding the way that I think with a corrupt programming, right? So our programming we get pretty much locked in the first few years of our life from our parents. The way our parents think, the way they spoke to each other, their relationship, the way that they engaged with us. And of course, not everyone has had a traditional structured growing up experience where there were two parents and a little suburban house with a picket fence. Most of us did not have that experience. So take your patterning and think about your parents and what are some of the things that you now do that is directly related to the corruptions and the weedings of the garden, the weeds that they have taught you how to think about or do or feel about. Great time of the year to think about some of the ways that we are responding to the world, responding to each other and our love relationships and our work relationships. Where are we repeating the glitch in the machine? Okay, where is the corrupt piece of code that keeps on playing out and keeps on dictating the way we respond to a situation? Is it a father figure? Is it a mother figure? What is the corruption this week that you are being asked to pay attention to? And what could you do differently to make the choice to let that go? What could you symbolically do to cast that out, to take that weed out of your garden? Because we all have them. We all have things that our environment has planted, all right? Other plants that have been planted into our beautiful earth that's tilled and was ready for it. And those weeds, unless we pull them out and maintain our garden, continue to propagate and grow into a wild forest. So this week, I affirm for you that the awareness comes of where the corruption is. Is it a physical thing where you have to sort out something that is disorganized and chaotic on a physical level? Is it emotional chaos? Is it mental chaos? Where is our thinking not clear? Where is our emotional response to a situation very instinctual and very knee-jerk? And what could we do to say, I'm not going to play that game anymore. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do a new way, a healthy, positive way of responding to my world. I'm going to take those weeds out. They do not belong in my life anymore. I wish you a wonderful, powerful healing this week. The opportunity's there. The energy's with us to make that shift. And of course, maybe it's just about pulling our life back together after the crazy festive season and finding some private time to regroup and get the house in order. Please subscribe, like, share, comment. It would be great to hear from you. And I look forward to seeing you at our next weekly overview. And of course, we have the January overview coming up. We have the 2020 to 2021 episode. So stay tuned as we step very closely together into 2021 and into everything that it can bring for our growth and our development. And of course, our opportunity to do that for others too. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.